After the first documented loss of a Leopard 2 tank, more and more videos started coming from the Russian side of many other Leopard 2 tanks getting hit or abandoned. But many videos and pictures have also been of the same tanks from different angles. Many have also been of tanks that we have not seen before. So now we will take a closer look at those losses and separate fact from fiction. Speaking of which, it is very important to eliminate any biases when looking for the facts. That is why I'm proud to present today's sponsor, Ground News. Ground News combines stories and articles from thousands of outlets, local and national, in one place so readers can see the full picture of what's being reported around the world. For every story, you get a quick visual breakdown of the news outlets covering it, their political bias, how facts show the sources, which entity owns the source, and which countries are covering the story. Let's take this story about the German Leopard 2 tanks reaching Ukraine. We can see that the right-leaning publications are covering it more than the rest, and we can also track how each side words the story. With Ground News you can follow breaking news on a specific topic, like Ukraine, war, etc. Ground News lets you develop a well-rounded world view by allowing you to see every side of every story with access to international perspectives that are hard to find, which is one of the many reasons I use it. If you want to try it out for yourself and make reading the news easier and more enjoyable, you can subscribe through my link at ground.news/redeffect for a special offer of 30% off their Vantage plan. This unlocks all features for as little as $5 per month and also helps support my channel and gives you the keys to this independent media venture striving for news transparency. First, we will focus on the most famous Leopard 2 by now, the abandoned Leopard 2A6. There have also been many pictures and videos of this tank posted since it first got abandoned. All of them, of course, come from the Russians. After the unsuccessful assault where the tank got damaged and then abandoned, Russians have gone closer to it and taken some pictures and videos of the tank, together with the Bradley infantry fighting vehicles that got damaged and abandoned next to the tank. After that, they went back to their defensive positions and the second assault came, in which we can see at least 5 Bradley infantry fighting vehicles. But based on the drone footage that came after the assault, it seems that all of the Bradleys got knocked out. Then another video followed, of some Russian soldiers going right into the pile of those vehicles and getting very close to the Leopard, where we get a closer look at the tank. We know this took place after the second assault because the extra Bradleys can be seen in a couple of frames, specifically this one with this kind of camouflage, that can't be seen in the original video. And then a bit later another picture of the Leopard was published, probably taken by the same guys. Now, is it possible that Russians have captured this tank? It is, but at the same time, it is also very likely that they didn't. They do seem to be able to reach the tank without getting targeted by Ukrainians, but that could just be because it's a couple of infantrymen. But at the same time, I believe that we would see them capture the tank pretty much immediately. There have been so many pictures and videos posted from their side, it would be hard to believe they wouldn't plaster the entire internet with images and videos of a first captured Leopard 2A6. As it would be a massive propaganda tool for them. There was a video of Ukrainians recovering one Leopard 2A6, where some people were saying it is this Leopard 2A6 being pulled back, but it isn't, nor is it any of the confirmed lost ones we have seen so far. The reason why it is clearly not the same tank as this one is because the markings and other details point to the opposite. If we look at the markings on the right side of the turret, we will see that the tank being pulled away has a marking on the side wedge armor, that is, further to the front of the turret. While the abandoned one has a marking on the flat part of the turret's side, right next to the smoke launchers. On top of that, the abandoned Leopard from the pile has a missing right mudguard, which is present on the recovered tank. Therefore, it is not the same tank. There were also claims floating around that the tank was knocked out by a Ka-52 helicopter, based on this video. Sure, the road and the cluster of vehicles seem very similar, but if we look at the road, we will see that it curves in many places, especially here. Plus, it appears to be very much away from any tree line. The road where the Leopard 2A6 is abandoned can be seen clearly in some videos, and it can be seen that the road is pretty much straight, and much closer to the tree line than what appears to be in the Ka-52 video. But I could be wrong about this one, since the terrain might be uneven and the perspective from the helicopter makes it appear as if the road is curved. But the tank is missing some wheels on the left side and the rear part of the track is completely destroyed, which could suggest that either the tank ran over a mine while reversing, or that an artillery hit landed right next to the tank. I say this because the damage is on the lower part of the vehicle. Now, after so many days, we still don't know what is the fate of this tank. Some Russian sources have reported that they captured the tank, but I would not believe those claims until we have actual evidence. Now, let's take a look at the Leopard 2A6 that actually got destroyed. In the video where I talked about this tank, I mentioned a picture of what appears to be the crew abandoning the tank, but since then, a video came out showing that the men next to the tank are actually infantry from a destroyed Bradley some meters in front of the tank that were retreating. In that video we can see that the tank is burning on the left side and smoke coming out of the tank. It is possible that the tank was hit on the left side and the shot penetrated, starting fire in the vehicle, which eventually led down to the entire tank burning down, as evident by the video where it is, well, burning. Russians also released the aftermath footage, where we can see another Leopard 2A6 abandoned behind the burnt one. We can also see the Bradley from the previous video, in front of the Leopard 2. But we can also see 3 Leopard 2R mine clearing vehicles, and a Wiesent, a multi-purpose vehicle. All vehicles can be seen in different videos and pictures posted by the Russians. I like how some people were saying that this is somehow fake, with so many videos and pictures posted of the same place, and with so much evidence, there is very little reason to believe that this has been faked. Russians have faked stuff in the past, but it's usually busted pretty easily. But there is no way this is fake. It would be way too much effort, especially since, as I mentioned, Russians are not the best at faking stuff. So what happened to the other Leopard 2A6 in the background? Well, we don't know. It doesn't seem to have burned down like the other one, but it's hard to tell from the quality of the videos what exactly happened to it. I also want to point out that it is also not a Leopard 2 that was recovered by Ukrainians. Again, I say that based on the markings. Even though the quality is not the best, we can see that this Leopard has markings on the same place as the first abandoned one, that is, on the flat part of the turret side, close to the smoke launchers. It also appears to have a marking on the front left mudguard, but it's hard to tell. Next tank we will take a look at is the Leopard 2A6 hit by a Lancet. The original video shows the Leopard 2 in question getting struck by a Lancet drone into the right side. Then we can see white smoke covering the vehicle. Now, a lot of people were saying that this is the fire prevention equipment going off in the tank, but I asked an ex-Leopard 2A6 tanker and he told me this is not how it is supposed to look like, and told me that he believes it is the smoke from the smoke launchers. And yeah, after looking closer on the video, we can see that the smoke is not actually coming from the inside of the tank, but from the outside. This is also later confirmed by the aftermath footage, where we can see burn marks on the side of the turret, which probably means that the explosion set off the smoke grenades situated in the dispensers. Now, the tank is definitely not destroyed, but in the original video, when the Lancet strikes the tank, we can see that the hatches on the tank are closed. In the other video, we can see that they are actually open. So the crew has definitely abandoned this tank, which could suggest that the damage is bigger than first appears. Another video was also published where the Russians allegedly target the crew who escaped into the woods with artillery. I'm mentioning this because I have also seen some people count this as a different tank. Well, it's not. It's the one hit by the Lancet. And again, this tank has not been recovered, since it has the marking on the same place as the previous two, plus the obvious burn marks on the side. So for now we have 4 confirmed losses of Leopard 2A6 tanks. The one in the pile, the burnt one, abandoned one behind the burnt one, and the one hit by a Lancet. I say they are losses because we have no confirmation of them being pulled away by Ukrainians, but one is at least a complete loss, because there is no way it can be recovered. Now, when it comes to the Leopard 2A4 tanks, the first loss of a Leopard 2 was a Leopard 2A4, the one that got destroyed by Russian artillery in an assault. But it seems that that one was pulled away pretty quickly because we have not seen any close-ups or any other footage of the tank since then. On the other hand, we have seen drone strikes on several Leopard 2A4 tanks, the fate of which is completely unknown, since we have not seen any aftermath footage of those tanks either. Ukrainians have also recently recorded a Leopard 2A4 that rolled over a mine, but since the video came from the Ukrainian side, I'm pretty sure they will recover it, if they haven't already done that. So as far as Leopard 2A4s go, we have at least one loss, with a bunch of others whose fate is completely unknown. It is very likely that they are either fine or have been recovered, but we can't know anything for sure. That would be all, I believe. Those are all videos and images I could find of Leopard 2s getting hit, abandoned or destroyed. If I missed any, or any new ones come out, I will try to make an update as soon as possible. But for now, if you like my content, you can support me on Patreon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a nice day.